That's right. How cool is this that we might have two of the three finalists for the Heisman Trophy playing on the same field tonight here in Morgantown? When we talked to Will Grier, the West Virginia quarterback, about it, he said, you know, honestly, it's really cool. I can't believe my name is even being mentioned with Tua Tagovailoa and Kyler Murray. He said, but it's more a testament to the people around me. I owe them everything. We've done this together. For Kyler Murray, when asked about if he's heard all the noise about just hand the Heisman to Tua, he said, of course I've heard it. Obviously, I have heard it, but obviously it's been pretty disrespectful. He said, I hear about it, but I'm just trying to go out and let my game speak for itself and continue to do me. Well, they can do them by getting to the championship game and a possible trip to New York. When we come back, we'll have kickoff implications on the line for both teams.
And only one of these two teams will survive to advance to next Saturday's Big 12 championship game in Arlington, Texas. Oklahoma trying to win the Big 12 for the fourth year in a row. No Power 5 conference team has won its conference 4 straight years since Florida in the mid-90s. And of course at number 6 in the country, trying to get into the top 4 and into the college football playoff for the 3rd time in 4 years. West Virginia won the toss, elected to receive. They want the ball first for Will Grier. In what is likely to be a shootout. Oklahoma, the highest scoring team in the country, 49.5 per game. And West Virginia is 9th at 41 per contest. Austin Seibert's kickoff over the head of Tevin Bush. So West Virginia will start from the 25, led by the 23-year-old senior Will Grier from Charlotte, North Carolina. Family man, his wife Jeannie, a former Tampa Bay Buccaneers cheerleader, 2-year-old daughter Ellie. Started his career at Florida, started 5 games as a redshirt freshman, but then a PED suspension cost him a year during the time away. He transferred to West Virginia and has been prolific over the 2 years here. 67 touchdown passes in just less than 2 seasons. Only Geno Smith has thrown more as a Mountaineer. And they line up to throw it immediately to TJ Simmons. And he gets gang tackled at the 30, led by Caleb Kelly, and it's an Oklahoma defense that has really struggled, Todd, all season long. They've given up 40 points or more in their last 3 games. Somehow all of them wins.
Well, somehow, because their offense is unbelievable.
Kennedy McCoy, the running back, and Grier swings it out to him. And he's down a yard short of the first down. Run down by Kenneth Murray, far and away the leading tackler for Oklahoma at more than 11 per game.
And 2 really easy passes for Will Grier to start the game. We had him last week, and he got off to a slow start in Stillwater against Oklahoma State. First 2 passes right on the mark. 3rd and short now for Will Grier in the offense.
And they have 2 backs in now. Letty Brown joins Kennedy McCoy. David Sills, the motion man, and they give it to Letty Brown, lined up as a fullback. He powered through the middle for a first down to the 43-yard line.
Well, Letty Brown, they like him as a short yardage back, and he kind of hesitated for a moment until a crease opened up, and then he was able to pop it through for the first down.
9-yard gain for the true freshman out of Philadelphia, Newman Goretti High School. Grier, again, they give him another easy throw, try to get him into a rhythm. Marcus Sims tackled immediately by one of the Oklahoma corners, Trey Norwood.
You mentioned those last 3 games and the struggles for this Oklahoma defense. Their pass defense was the worst in those 3 games. There's their season numbers, but over the last 3 weeks, really, in particular, has struggled stopping these good passing teams in the Big 12.
Yeah, 106th for the year, but the last 3 weeks last in the country, 130th in pass yards allowed. Here's Kennedy McCoy, who ran for his career high at Oklahoma in a loss last year. Had 131 yards in that game. He surpassed that number last week in their crushing loss at Oklahoma State. West Virginia in Stillwater last week blew a 17-point lead in the second half, despite the efforts of McCoy. 3rd down and 3 from midfield.
A lot of cushion up top. Corners off.
They try to slam the run up the middle, and it works. McCoy slicing for a 7-yard gain and a first down to the 44 of Oklahoma.
Good balance so far for West Virginia. You know, we talked about Oklahoma struggling stopping the pass. Well, last week it wasn't the pass, it was Kansas running the football really effectively. They ran for 348 yards against their defense. So Oklahoma coming into this game saying, look, we're going to be balanced. We think we can do both.
Yeah, Puka Williams, the freshman running back for Kansas, went for 252 himself. 6th most in Kansas history. Greer this time flagged down as he takes off and runs ahead for about 7. Mike Defee, the referee, threw the flag in an area where you ordinarily expect a holding call.
Yeah, they're going to get Yodny Kajust, the left tackle. And really, it was Amani Bledsoe.
Offense, number 55. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Replay first down.
Kajust is an outstanding pass blocker, has excellent feet, but he got baited that time by Amani Bledsoe. Amani Bledsoe got that arm underneath him and kind of begged for the call and got it. And backs up West Virginia with the penalty.
Back to the Mountaineers 46. 1st and 20. They fake the quick pass and hand it off on a draw to McCoy. He's a physical runner, junior out of Lexington, North Carolina.
Right here, 2nd and 14. You're in Oklahoma territory. Will Greer's thinking, let's get about half this yardage at least. Give ourselves a chance with a nice 3rd down play.
Saw Jake Spavital. He is the offensive coordinator and play caller for West Virginia. 4 minutes gone by, opening possession of the game. Here's Martell Pettaway down to the 40-yard line. Spavital, one of 15 semifinalists for the Frank Broyles Award, which goes to the top assistant coach of the season in college football. Oklahoma has an excellent candidate in Bill Bedenbaugh, the offensive line coach and co-offensive coordinator. 3rd down and 7.
Oklahoma showing pressure. Will Greer checking, changing his protection at the line.
Experienced quarterback, 22nd start at West Virginia, and a bomb on target. David Sills, a West Virginia touchdown.
Win the toss, expecting a shootout. You want to get on the board first. It pays off for West Virginia.
And the pass defense struggles continue for Oklahoma. They set them up with several short passes. The winner on to the Big 12 championship game to take on Texas next Saturday. And at the moment, it's West Virginia with a 7-0 lead. Will Greer, a 41-yard touchdown to David Sills. 33rd pass of 40 yards or more in less than 2 full seasons at West Virginia, completed by Will Greer. Short kickoff by Evan Staley down to Trey Brown, and he slipped as he tried to cut up the field, and Derek Pitts was there waiting for him. Certainly last week the officials really let them play in the defensive backfield. Coaches had no problem with it, said it was the same on both sides, but they allowed the DBs to be physical against the receivers. Trey Sermon gets the first carry off the handoff from Kyler Murray, the junior from Allen, Texas, near Dallas. Played 1 year at Texas A&M, then transferred to Oklahoma. Sat out a transfer year, sat most of the year behind the Heisman winner Baker Mayfield, and now he might win a Heisman for Oklahoma. Has had a magnificent season as the first-year starter for the Sooners. Leading the nation's highest scoring team. They're #1 in total offense. And the legs of Murray a big reason why, as he runs to the 30 for a first down.
When you don't see him do that very much, running up in between the tackles. He likes to slide. He likes to run out of bounds. He doesn't like to take hits. That time he showed a little toughness running up inside for the first down. Lincoln Riley said the last half of the season he's really become an effective runner in their offense, not just a scramble guy.
Sermon, the running back, he left last week's win against Kansas after 1 carry with a left foot and ankle injury. Murray throws a wobbler behind Sermon. Might have been deflected. 2nd and 10.
Pretty good job being disciplined in how they rushed Kyler Murray. They kept him in the pocket, and as he started to break, there were 2 guys there to contain him, and a little mix-up between he and Trey Sermon. But good discipline by the West Virginia defense. You just have to rush this guy differently than most quarterbacks.
They want to try to keep him in the pocket. He's listed at 5'10". Coaches for West Virginia hope to make it difficult for him to see. Marquise Brown taken down by Drayvon Askew-Henry, making his 50th career start tonight. A 4-year starter, his final home game that ties the school record for career starts with Joe Matson, who played center here back from 2009 to 2012. Third down and 7. 51% on 3rd down this year for Oklahoma. On target for a 1st down. Marquise Brown, they call him Hollywood. He's from Hollywood, Florida, a cousin of Antonio Brown of the Steelers.
And you see the accuracy of Kyler Murray on that throw.
West Virginia not lined up as Oklahoma got to the line very quickly. And Sermon falls ahead to the 45 for a pickup of 4. Tackled by David Long, one of the best linebackers in the country. Lincoln Riley, the Oklahoma head coach, calls the plays. And very well.
Yeah. Outstanding play caller. Really proved that when he was at East Carolina. That's what got the attention of Bob Stoops. Got him hired out here and has continued that as the head coach.
Elevated to head coach when Bob Stoops retired. Here's Murray, the worst nightmare for Tony Gibson's defense. Murray gets a nice block downfield from CeeDee Lamb and scores. A 55-yard touchdown run. His parents, Kevin and Missy, here in Morgantown tonight, loving that.
This is a designed quarterback run. This is not a scramble. Watch Trey Sermon with the key block on David Long. He gets Long on the edge, and then if this guy gets in space, I mean, it doesn't matter what kind of angle you have. He's too quick, too elusive, and then too fast to just outrun people. You can't let him get out in space like that, and Kyler Murray does what he's been doing all year.
Austin Seibert adds the extra point. Each team has had it once. Each team has scored a touchdown. Might be the last team with the ball tonight wins. The over-under 85 points, the highest in West Virginia football history. 55-yard touchdown run. He has 62 rushing yards total. Here's Seibert's kickoff. Again, not returnable. Time for tonight's Do More in a Jiffy, brought to you by Jiffy Lube.
Well, I want to show you this. Now, initially, there's 2 guys that have a chance to make a play here, all right? The first guy, David Long, is going to get taken out by Trey Sermons, and then the pulling tackle is going to get the linebacker sandwich. And now there's one more guy who is unblocked, and he has no chance in the open field against Kyler Murray. This is too difficult in that kind of a situation to bring him down.
The fake to Martell Pettaway, and Will Greer's throw is too high for Marcus Sims. And to go back to Kyler Murray for a moment, Todd, you mentioned he has a chance to do something nobody's ever done in FBS football. Average 300 passing yards and 60 rushing yards for the season. Well, this is the last regular season game. Yeah. He has the 62 rushing already tonight.
Yeah, he's got that part covered.
Unbelievable. We asked Coach Riley, has he had a better year than Baker Mayfield, the Heisman Trophy winner last year? So I don't want to answer that. Let's say they've both played at about as high a level as anybody has played the position in the history of college football. That sounds like an overstatement, but when you think about what they're doing and put it in historical terms, it really isn't. Pettaway, the ball carrier, and Kenneth Murray made the tackle.
And here's a big opportunity for this Oklahoma defense now. They played great on 1st and 2nd down. 3rd and long. Will Grier backed up in his own territory, a chance to get off the field here for the Sooner defense.
Don't you think it might be, Todd, just whichever defense can get a couple of stops tonight and a couple of turnovers, maybe even one. Sills the catch. So on 3rd and 9, West Virginia converts on a completion to the 41-yard line, good for 15 yards.
Again, free access for David Sills. It's off coverage. He gets into his route, makes a beautiful catch with his hands on a cold night. That's a pretty impressive catch.
It was a beautiful November day here. The temperature got up into the mid-50s, but it cooled off quickly once the sun disappeared. 42 and dropping right now with a light breeze. Pettaway carried on 1st down.
You know, you talk about defenses, and I think in this league with these kind of offenses, you just have to do it differently. You got to try to come up with a few stops, play really good in the red zone if you can, and like you said, force a turnover or two if you can. You're not going to stop or totally negate some of these better offenses, but you got to be able to be good in situations.
There's Pettaway weaving his way through this porous Oklahoma D. It's 10 a.m. Eastern on ESPN. 7-7 the score. 5.5 to go in the half. Trevon Wesco wide open, the tight end. Rumbling inside the 25-yard line to the 22 with a pickup of 20.
Well, because of the running success, those inside linebackers coming up on the run fake. A lot of room behind for the tight end Wesco.
He has developed as a star here in the 2nd half of the season. Back-to-back catches for Wesco. Robert Barnes, the tackle, about 1.5 yards short of the 1st down.
You know, one thing we should point out, Sean, the right side of the offensive line has changed in this ball game. McKivitz has been the starting right tackle. He's in at guard. And Kelby Wickline, number 72, has been the swing tackle, starting at right tackle tonight.
That was a change made this week. McKivitz had started 33 games, all at tackle. Jake Spavital told us he's never played guard. He's repped it in practice. He's playing guard tonight and leading the way for Martell Pettaway in a 1st down carry near the 10-yard line.
He's been playing great at tackle, and he looked okay playing guard on this one. I think that might be Josh Sills, their starting left guard, who's down at the end of this play.
And to the point where they have faith in him to start tonight in this huge game. 1st and 10 from the 11. Pettaway up the middle inside the 7-yard line.
Well, again, for Oklahoma defensively in a game like this, can you bow up and play better in the red zone? West Virginia's got good balance. They've got 153 total yards of offense, but in the red zone, can you step up and make a play? Last week in Stillwater, this was a problem for West Virginia. They came up empty 3 times in the red zone.
Amani Bledsoe has returned to the defensive front for Oklahoma. Pettaway returns to the end zone. Touchdown, West Virginia. His 5th rushing touchdown of the season. 6th touchdown overall. Evan Staley, the extra point. Evan Staley kicking off into about a 7-mile-per-hour breeze. Trey Brown. Upended. And the ball is out.
They're signaling. It looks like they're signaling that he was down.
The ruling on the field is that the ground caused the ball to come out.
Whoa.
1st down.
We shall see about that. Looked like David Long, and it was David Long, their great linebacker, who sent him airborne. Help from Dante Bonamico, Bill Lamagna. So Mike DeFee.
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field of down by rule stands. 1st down.
For the reason that Bill Lamagna articulated very nicely. We've referred to it a couple of times, Todd. Oklahoma in the last 3 games has given up 40 points or more in all 3 of them and won all 3. beat Texas Tech, Oklahoma State, and Kansas. Since the AP poll debuted in 1936, they're the only team that's ever won 3 straight games when giving up 40 points or more in each of them. Here's Kennedy Brooks ahead for about 7. We asked Kyler Murray, is there pressure to score every time you take the field? And he said, well, that's always our mission. That's what you're trying to do every time you take the field. And he didn't want to point a finger at the defense. A lot of times when it's one unit carrying the way, or in this case offense and special teams, there can be some finger pointing, but that hasn't happened at Oklahoma. Murray on target. Marquise Brown in front of his cousin Antonio, a first down near midfield.
You know, Sean, we talk about Kyler Murray, we talk about the skill guys for Oklahoma, but I think the key to this offense being as good as they are, this is the best offensive line I've seen this season in college football. As I've watched tape and watched other teams, this unit up front is outstanding.
Yeah, from left to right, there's no weak link in that offensive line. The throw incomplete, a little short for CeeDee Lamb. He slipped as he went to catch it. Look at dismay on the face of Kyler Murray when they didn't complete it.
One of the problems facing West Virginia's defense against this kind of an offense and a quarterback like Murray, they have really been beat up at the linebacker position more than any other spot. They've had 5 guys that have been out that are not able to play. One other guy that's trying to play that's not 100%. It has been a position that has really been decimated, and that's tough against a team like this.
Kennedy Brooks, gaping hole, first down, and much more. Stayed on his feet, broke several tackles, and finally taken down by Josh Norwood. A nifty 26-yard run.
Well, and you see the linebacker sandwich, number 31, just kind of took a false step. Then he got blocked by the guard, Samia, and a big gap opened up in the run game.
And Sandwich, the guy who wouldn't be playing had it not been for those injuries to other linebackers. Kennedy Brooks, very little on first down for Oklahoma.
It just shows up in your run defense more than anything. They take a look. I mean, those are guys. Charlie Benton started the Tennessee game, lasted 15 plays. He was out. Ferns and Qualls were hurt last spring and are not really back ready to play. Tonkery has tried to play some this year, has not played in 5 ball games. And for Tony Gibson, it's just been a really difficult situation.
They've played better defense here than they have in the past. Kennedy Brooks stacked up after a 2-yard gain. Matter of fact, West Virginia, Todd, giving up only 23 points per game. Only Iowa State's better in scoring defense in the Big 12. This coach has done an excellent job. Oklahoma lines up quickly for 3rd down and 9. That offensive line gives Murray all day to throw, and it's a touchdown. Marquise Brown. A 25-yard touchdown reception.
Well, they rushed 3 and dropped 8, which I understand the thinking, but just can't let a guy run free to the back of the end zone, particularly their go-to receiver, Marquise Brown.
Kyler Murray, trying to enhance his Heisman candidacy, has already run 55 for a touchdown, and now he throws a beautiful ball to Marquise Brown for a passing touchdown, and the extra point by Seibert has tied it.
Well, here's Marquise Brown. Watch what he's going to do. He's going to run to here and just kind of stutter, and then he's going to go to the end zone. And what happens on that little stutter move, the safety is going to sit. And as soon as he sits, Marquise Brown splits him, gets to the back of the end zone, and it's a touchdown. That was Drayvon Askew Henry, number 6, kind of out of position, and a beautiful throw by Kyler Murray.
One of the questions that's been asked, could Kyler Murray be an NFL quarterback? He's listed at 5'10". They did talk to the Oklahoma sports information people, said their training staff measured them in their socks, and he was a legitimate 5'10". I would take the under if wagering were to be involved in that. Antonio Brown perhaps texting about his cousin's touchdown. Marquise says they talk just about every day, and they train together in South Florida. Our Todd McShay said that Kyler Murray is starting to remind him of Russell Wilson, and that Kyler Murray has better arm strength than he thought he was going to have after Todd McShay watched him in person a couple of weeks ago when they played Oklahoma State. Here's Holly.
Well, Kyler Murray said that Russell Wilson is someone that he looks up to and has watched him on film a lot. Kyler said, you know, you don't just plug anybody in this offense and have success. You have to be good at reading it and reacting. And I'm seeing that the way he's changing plays at the line of scrimmage, commute across the line. He's showing some good leadership and adaptability here in this offense from what I've observed on the sidelines here.
His accuracy both in and out of the pocket has been impressive all year.
Catch and run, Marcus Sims. Speedy wide receivers, had some big games this year. 3 games of more than 100 yards receiving, but he's not getting up after a 14-yard gain.
And he is their speed receiver, and that would be a big loss for West Virginia.
TJ Simmons dropped for a loss by Trey Brown.
They started the game with that same play, got 5 or 6 yards that time. Trey Brown read it quickly and made a nice play for a loss of yardage. Will Grier, even though that one was a loss of 1, 8 for 9, very sharp here in the first quarter of the ball game.
108 yards and a touchdown pass for Grier, playing in his final home game here. Took off running, tackled from behind by Neville Gallimore. Ruffin McNeil raved about the middle of his defensive front 3 from St. Catharines, Ontario.
That was a weird play. Will Grier was faking, but there was no back in the backfield, and so there was no effect of the fake, and then he ended up running, and that's not his strong suit. And a 3rd down and long, again, opportunity for this Oklahoma defense.
West Virginia 4 for 4 on 3rd down. Letty Brown, the running back. Just a 3-man rush. They're playing pass coverage. Catch made short of the 1st down. Giovanni Haskins, one of their tight ends. And that'll take us to the end of the 1st quarter.
Well, Dana Holgorsen also told us in a game like this, we may have to go for 4th downs because he knows it's going to be a shootout. He's going to have a little time to think about it here.
You're watching Dr. Pepper's Championship Drive game of the week. The winner of this one on to the Big 12 Championship game a week from tomorrow to play Texas. Tied at 14. West Virginia going for it on 4th and 2 and converting. David Sills out of bounds inside the Oklahoma 40. Dana Holgorsen said we need to be aggressive and outscore Oklahoma, and he was aggressive here.
Well, Sills does a great job of getting to a soft area and stopping. And Will Grier, the chemistry they have is beautiful. He knew Will Sills would stop, and he got him the football for the 1st down.
From the 38-yard line of Oklahoma. Grier to Sills, chopped out at the 31. Caleb Kelly the tackle. Holly.
Well, guys, an emotional moment on the West Virginia sideline after the 3rd leading receiver, Marcus Sims, just came out of the medical tent with tears streaming down his face. I believe he's just been told he cannot return to this game after that hard hit to the head. He is so upset. He's been storming up and down the sideline.
That's a sad deal. You could see even as he was walking off the field and he was staggering a little bit, he was even then saying, I'm okay, I want to be back, I'm going to play, I'm okay. But they got to do the right thing for the guy. I mean, they've got to be smart and safe. He took quite a shot on that play.
As you said, he's an excellent deep threat. Letty Brown ripping through the Oklahoma defense to the 14-yard line, 15-yard run. Trey Brown might have saved a touchdown with the tackle.
Now McKivitz is back at right tackle. Chase Burnt is in at right guard now, and McKivitz at his normal tackle position got the key block on that play. And West Virginia just doing whatever they want to this Oklahoma defense. 84 yards rushing, 137 yards passing.
Hasn't been a stop yet. Leddie Brown to the 10-yard line. Marcus Sims still very emotional, and this is the biggest game of his life to date. Junior from Bowie, Maryland, trying to help his team get to the Big 12 championship game, convinced that he's okay to go back in. Kennedy McCoy, the running back. And Todd, we did check with the replay booth from our truck. We were told they did take a close look at the hit by Barnes on Sims, and the response was that it was not definitive of their opinion to deem it targeting. Third down 4. And 5 out of 6 on third down. The one time they didn't make it, they made it on fourth down a moment ago. And that's a touchdown to Gary Jennings.
Wow, great combination route with David Sills and Jennings. Sills is going to go inside. Jennings is going to pause and then go outside. Oh, they called it.
Play in the end zone. 15-yard penalty to the previous spot. Replay third down.
Yeah, he did kind of go in there and throw his body at him. You know, he could have very easily just avoided him, and Jennings would still be open.
What a huge call. Pass interference. And instead of an 8-yard touchdown to Jennings, the ball back on the 23 for third down and 19.
They didn't get a stop the conventional way in the red zone, but they got the penalty.
It was a good call. They fired off some cannons that created some smoke, or whatever it is that generated the smoke. Kennedy McCoy to the 10-yard line.
Now what does Dana do? Does he go for 3 points here and keep the lead?
Nope.
Or does he go for the first down? And he knows. I mean, even though it's early in the game, field goals are not going to win this football game. It's going to be touchdowns. But I do think there's something to be said for keeping in the lead as long as you can as well.
4th and 6 from the 10. Neither team has been stopped yet. Can Oklahoma get a stop? They bring blitz. It's a pass to the back of the end zone over the head of Giovanni Haskins, with Robert Barnes, who might be very fortunate to still be in this game, in coverage.
Ball was just a little thrown a little bit too far for Haskins. They had a nice matchup. The tight end on the safety, and the ball just overthrown slightly, and Haskins not able to come up with it. I think that's a good no call on interference, just a slight overthrow by Will Grier. And so Oklahoma, in an unconventional way, gets a stop from their defense, aided by the pass interference penalty on David Sills.
Bill LeMonnier concurs that was a good call on the offensive pass interference that wiped out the touchdown. So Oklahoma takes over from its own 10. The first stop of the game by either defense goes to the Sooners. Murray off his back foot on target to CeeDee Lamb. And he's down seemingly just shy of the first down, with Josh Norwood making the tackle.
Lincoln Riley told us they need CeeDee Lamb to really play at an elite level here down the stretch. He's had a really good year, had a great freshman season, and they need him to just kick it up even a more of a notch here down the stretch.
Trey Sermon on 2nd and 1 gets the first down, tackled by the outstanding safety Kenny Robinson.
Sean, you know what's amazing about this Oklahoma offense is coming into the game, they're averaging 8.8 yards a play, which is best in college football, but they're 108th in terms of number of plays per game. So they're just so efficient, even though they don't run a ton of plays.
Well, there's two things that factor in that, obviously. They score quickly, and their defense stays on the field a long time because they give up a lot of plays and yardage. With that 8.8, if it ended the season that way, that would be the all-time single-season FBS record.
Yeah, Hawaii holds that record right now at 8.6. Oklahoma broke a school record of their own last year at 8.3 with Baker Mayfield, and they're ahead of that schedule.
And Hawaii's 8.3 yards per play for the whole season in 2006 with Colt Brennan, the quarterback. 2nd down and 10. Off the play fake. Lots of pressure on Murray on target. Coming back to make the catch, Brown. They'll mark it shy of the 1st down by about a yard. Give him that forward progress. Keith Washington the tackle.
Great poise by Kyler Murray that time. He knew that West Virginia was bringing pressure. He eluded it and still made the accurate throw.
Flag down for a false start. They tried to go very quickly again. They caught West Virginia earlier, not lined up.
False start. Offense, number 74. 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
Cody Ford, the right tackle.
He has been a dominant force. He played right guard for the last 2 years. They moved him to right tackle this year, just a little ahead of the count. But he has had an outstanding season up there.
6'4", 338, and he can run. You'll see that tonight. They like to pull him, and he can get down the field. So 3rd down and 6. Pressure again from West Virginia, and a wide open receiver. Marquise Brown across midfield and out of bounds. Big play for Oklahoma. 26 yards.
Well, Marquise Brown is running a crossing route, and Keith Washington just kind of got picked on the inside. He was in man-to-man coverage, and they ran double crossing routes, and Marquise Brown was able to get free for a nice completion.
Because Oklahoma substituted, they're allowing West Virginia time to get its subs on the field defensively. Jeremiah Hall, the motion man. Murray on target. How about the various arm angles, the footwork? Holly asked him on our conference call with Kyler the other day, well, what kind of work do you do on your footwork? He said, I've always had good footwork. And he's not lying.
Yeah, I think a lot of that he has was God-given, and he has certainly worked as an athlete, both as a football and a baseball player, but he has got some special talents.
Tony Gibson said he's one of the few quarterbacks that I've ever seen who seems to throw the ball better on the run. He's on the run and fumbles as he hit the ground at the 30-yard line. Recovered by Kenny Robinson.
So here's the deal. As good of a runner as he has not been a guy who has put his nose in there when he runs. He usually slides, or he usually goes out of bounds. David Long, the best player on this West Virginia defense, takes advantage of the fact that he's going to get a hit on Kyler Murray, and not only does he get the hit, he knocks the ball out too.
In the football playoff, and they take on their rival USC from the Coliseum. Of course, you can watch it live on the ESPN app as well. Kennedy McCoy on 1st down for West Virginia, weaved ahead for 4 yards. Well, Todd, we talked about might come down to which defense can make the most stops. We'll come up with the most takeaways. Oklahoma 1 stop and now 1 takeaway for the West Virginia defense.
However you can do it. I mean, it can be unconventional, but you've got to find a way to get something done with your defense.
Fake to McCoy, and the quick slant is deflected. Robert Barnes knocked it down. And you know, after the decision was made to keep him in the game after the targeting review, he's going to be a factor.
Yeah, well, that was
always works out that
athletic play that time by Barnes, coming on a pressure, timed his jump, got his right hand on the football, and brings up a 3rd down play for West Virginia.
We can tell you that Marcus Sims has left the sideline for West Virginia, still emotionally, went to their locker room. Will Grier, lots of time, and incomplete. Crowd wants a flag. It was intended for Sills. Good coverage by Parnell Motley, who rotates in as part of a 3-man rotation at cornerback for Ruffin McNeil.
Motley's a little bit bigger. Good position and underneath coverage. And that's good coverage. Greer took a shot at the end of the play. Not too much to it, but got knocked down.
He's limping off.
Yeah.
Favoring his left leg. Here's Billy Kinney, Morgantown native, fifth-year senior. Last home game playing for his hometown university. Third year as the starting punter. CeeDee Lamb broke a couple of tackles but could not spin away, and Oklahoma will start at its 35 in a 14-all tie. For 27 years, I believe he had one plate of food for every one of those years yesterday. We are blessed to be working with these wonderful people and fortunate to be here tonight for one of the big games of the year in college football, Oklahoma and West Virginia. The winner will play in the Big 12 championship game in Arlington, Texas, a week from tomorrow against Texas, which clinched its spot with a win today at Kansas. Kyler Murray in a 14-all tie, going deep, and there's Hollywood Brown again. And yanked down at the 1-yard line. Keith Washington looked from here like it might have been a face mask. Cousin Antonio can't believe Marquise didn't take it all the way.
Well, he's got single coverage on Keith Washington, but the safety, Kenny Robinson, bites on an underneath route. He's got to be deep to help the corner on that deep post route. I mean, that's easy throw for Kyler Murray. There's the ball down inside the 1-yard line. Could have been a face mask call for sure on that play, but Oklahoma first and goal.
Trey Sermon to the end zone. Touchdown, Oklahoma. "65-yard pass play took them to the 1, and then Sermon handled it from there."
You know, Lincoln Riley told us when we talked to him on the phone this week, I think Marquise Brown will be about as close to 100% as he's been all season. I think he looks 100% tonight. 7 catches now, 149 yards and a touchdown. It's pretty good in less than a half.
He went to College of the Canyons in California, out of high school in South Florida. You wonder how that could be. He weighed 138 pounds, Marquise Brown, when he graduated from high school. When he was in junior college, some college recruiters came out, took a look at him. They watched him run the 4.3 40. Said, "We don't care how big he is. We'll make him a little bigger." Here's today's catch, brought to you by Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's.
Well, this is a deep post pattern that Marquise Brown is going to run, and he's right here running this post pattern. But the guy to watch this safety right here. That's the free safety, Kenny Robinson, number 2. He's going to bite on the inside route, and he doesn't stay deep to help his corner. I mean, that guy's got to be back there to help on the deep route. Instead, it's a huge play. Antonio Brown wanted the touchdown. He said, "I would have scored. No doubt I would have scored because you got to get it in." Trey Sermon does the rest.
Well, Antonio Brown had a good look at that long pass to his cousin, because he's down in that corner of the end zone. He'll get ready to fly to Denver. Steelers with a big game at the Broncos on Sunday. Here's Austin Seibert to kick off. Returnable? No. Over the head of Tevin Bush. Back in the studio, here's Adney and Bert.
All right, Sean, thank you. Happy Thanksgiving to you and yours. How about the Apple Cup? Washington State. Here's Jake Browning, intercepted by Skylar Thomas. Huge pick there as Wazoo's trying to improve their standing and impress the playoff committee by knocking off these Huskies. And then Washington State, bad snap on 4th and 1, denied. Surprising with all the offense at their disposal. It's scoreless, Sean, almost through 1.
Snowing.
Certainly our thoughts go out to the members of the Washington Ban involved in a bus crash yesterday. Thankfully, none of the injuries life-threatening, but the Ban didn't make the trip because they all couldn't make it. A couple of them were still hospitalized as of earlier today. Giovanni Haskins, the catch and run out to the 42-yard line. West Virginia now trailing for the first time tonight.
I like that they're looking for Haskins more in this game. He only had one catch for 9 yards against Oklahoma State last week. He's a talented receiver, a tight end that can flex out and play wide receiver. Transfer from Miami.
Career 12 out of 16 passing. He had missed on the previous 3 before the connection with Haskins. Martell Pettaway for 8 yards to midfield.
West Virginia's got a nice combination with Kennedy McCoy and Pettaway kind of sharing the tailback duties.
They've had injuries at running back as well. Alex Sinkfield is a key member of their running back rotation, but he's missed 6 with a high ankle sprain. Pettaway again, first down to the Oklahoma 46-yard line. Pettaway chopped down. Amani Bledsoe got him at the line of scrimmage.
Well, guys, one of the reasons West Virginia has gone back to their original offensive line configuration is because Kelby Wickline, who had started this game at right tackle, is out. He's got a lower leg injury. He's trying to walk it off on the sideline, but they've had to go back to McKivitz at guard because that lineup that they had earlier in the game did not pan out with Wickline's injury.
Yeah, McKivitz is back to his normal right tackle, and Chase Burnt, who's been one of those guys they've rotated in there at right guard, is in there right now.
Greer, nice throw, then another first down. It's Gary Jennings to the 35-yard line of Oklahoma, gain of 11.
Yeah, I think Jennings is a guy who's got to step up for Will Greer, especially with no Marcus Sims. You've got your tight ends involved. Jennings has got to be more of a factor.
Greer going deep, single coverage, flag down as Sills went after it with Trey Norwood.
I think the fact that David Sills was aggressively going for the football is why he gets the flag here. I think Trey Norwood was in okay position, but he never made a play on the ball.
Defense, number 13. The 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. Automatic. First down.
It's single coverage. Norwood's in good shape. He doesn't bite on the stutter step. And I think they would allow that contact if he would have tried to make a play on the football. Sills is being physical. He's working to try to get a position on the football and drew the flag, and a first down for West Virginia.
Sills is just about as physical.
Yeah.
We saw the game last week. Oklahoma State and West Virginia and Stillwater, they let a lot of that kind of stuff go on both sides all day. Quick pop to Wesco. He's very near another first down at the 10-yard line.
Third time they've done this. Watch the linebackers bite on the fake, and it just leaves that open for the tight end. Fake the run, linebackers in, flip it to the tight end.
3 catches for Wesco for 38. Fifth-year senior, third year at West Virginia, came out of Lackawanna Junior College in Pennsylvania. He's been a revelation the second half of this year. Greer again, the fade to Sills.
Get the foot in.
And it is a touchdown for the Mountaineers.
Wow.
Quarterback is a young boy, offered a scholarship in the 8th grade by Lane Kiffin when he was at USC. Transition to wide receiver here at West Virginia. Abandoned his dream to play quarterback. And he's one of the best in Mountaineer history and one of the 11 semifinalists for the Blitnikoff Award as the best receiver in the country this year. A 10-yard pass. We're tied again. Todd is very observant. Practically a meteorologist. Here's Evan Staley to kick off for West Virginia. And it'll be another touchback to root on the Mountaineers in one of the biggest games in the history of the stadium. The local papers talking about it as being one of the biggest in the history of the West Virginia football program. Kennedy Brooks. Of course, this is a school that's played for some big stakes, including for a national championship back in 1988 in the Fiesta Bowl, when Don Nehlen took them to take on Notre Dame, and the Irish prevailed. But this is among the biggest games this football program has ever had.
Very exciting environment here, and really an offense that's built to keep them right in this football game.
Straight ahead, and they gash him on the run. Kennedy Brooks off to the races. Will they catch him? No, they won't. Touchdown, Oklahoma. Another long one. 68 yards.
Now, this is the gap scheme that Oklahoma likes to run. They'll run counter where they pull the guard and the tackle. This time, they're just going to bring the tackle around. They're going to block inside here and bring the guard or the tackle around. This is the left tackle. Bobby Evans gets a block on the linebacker, and it just opens up, and then a missed tackle by Kenny Robinson, the free safety. If you're the unblocked guy like Kenny Robinson is, and you're the last line of defense, you got to make that play.
Oklahoma's third play from scrimmage of 50 yards or more. Austin Seibert adds the extra point with 3.5 to go. The Sooners are back on top. You said it earlier, it's a great offensive line that has helped open some big holes for the Sooners tonight. Back in Morgantown, West Virginia, as we take a look at great battles brought to you by Super Smash Brothers Ultimate. We talked about, Todd, which defense can get a turnover, which can make a stop or two. Not much in the way of stops or takeaways. And that's a touchback again off the foot of Seibert.
Well, we talk about this offensive line being so good. The leader is the youngest. He's the true freshman center, Creed Humphrey. Watch him get the block on David Long on the touchdown run. Little combination, puts him on his back. The guy, Lincoln Riley, I've never heard a coach talk so glowingly about an offensive lineman, particularly that young, the way Lincoln Riley did.
He said he's the best offensive lineman I've ever been around.
Yeah.
And as you said, he's a freshman. I believe he's a redshirt freshman.
It said he's the most talented player on their team, no matter what position. Just purely the most talented guy for what he does for their offense.
When he said it, we questioned him because he said he's probably the most talented player on our team. So, well, you have a quarterback who might win the Heisman Trophy. He said, I shouldn't have said probably. He really is the most talented player on our team, and that includes the quarterback. Talked about his toughness, his competitiveness, his smarts. He has an elite frame. He's a center at 6'5", 325 with long arms. He was a great wrestler. He understands leverage. With more, here's Holly.
Well, guys, I am very obsessed with Creed Humphrey. I mean, come on, a center. Here he was in pregame warmups. I made sure to go down and really watch him. You talk about focus on every step, every punch. You know, runs off the field, punching himself in the helmet to make sure he's ready for the game. I was so impressed by this young redshirt freshman in his pregame warmup. The absolute focus and determination on every movement.
Yeah, he's good.
They'll just do a switch with some other people if they have to and work 7.
There's not an alternate listed on the flip card, nor do we see anybody come on the field. He is significantly bloodied. Second and 11 from the 24-yard line. Greer under duress. The ball's out as Caleb Kelly took him down. He scoops it up and scores.
Well, this happened to Will Greer a week ago in Stillwater on a 3rd down play. He was sacked and lost control of the football. Caleb Kelly comes free. Will Grier does not take care of the football. And the worst case scenario, Oklahoma not only gets the turnover and the sack, they get a touchdown. Beautiful individual play. Punches the ball out. Caleb Kelly just making his second start of the season and makes a big play for this Oklahoma defense.
An enormous play. That's been another one of their difficulties this year, Todd. They don't take the ball away. They came into tonight with 8 takeaways for the season. Only Baylor and East Carolina have fewer in the country this year.
Caleb Kelly just runs right through McKivitz. I mean, just knocked one of the best players on this West Virginia team, Colton McKivitz, the right tackle, knocked him right on his can and made the sack. I mean, that was an explosive play by Caleb Kelly.
Ruffin McNeil, when we chatted with him, raved about Kelly. He's rangy, 6'3", 231.
Yeah.
Playing linebacker. Junior out of Fresno, California. Ruffin McNeil, despite the 40 points plus given up the last 3 weeks, raving about the effort and attitude of these players.
Talked about their ability to go on to the next play. They've had a lot of bad plays and bad things that have happened to them.
Fido.
Yeah.
Forget it. Drive on.
Yeah, how important it is to do that, and how good these guys have been able to do it. And they've been doing it with a lot of young guys on this defense.
Tevin Bush had trouble handling the kickoff and got back to the 20-yard line. On Sunday, December 2nd, we'll have the exclusive reveal of the college football semifinal matchups. Which 4 teams will have a chance to play for the national title? The semifinals are in the Capital One Orange Bowl and the Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic, to be played on Saturday, December 29th. Reese and the gentlemen will unveil the other big bowl games. They'll have the final top 25 rankings in a 4-hour special that starts at noon Eastern on ESPN Sunday, December 2nd. Swing pass and does not connect with Martell Pettaway, and then bodies go flying and a little bit of woofing, but no pushing and shoving as they got up between TJ Simmons and Parnell Motley.
Now Simmons is just trying to block on the little bubble screen to Pettaway, an incomplete pass, and just 2 guys being aggressive.
Simmons lucky he didn't get flagged for the takedown, well out of bounds. Grier a little bit too far out in front of TJ Simmons.
Well, this is a dangerous time right now for West Virginia. You know, Will Grier is a little bit discombobulated after that last turnover. Overthrow there. The game was right where they wanted, even, and now all of a sudden they find themselves down 2 touchdowns and facing a 3rd and 10.
And the crowd has gone out of the game after the defensive score by Oklahoma. Simmons getting more action without Marcus Sims available to them, but he went to the locker room. Kennedy McCoy, the running back, dragged down at the 40-yard line. Delarian Turner-Yell made the tackle, a backup safety.
Beautiful block by David Sills out there. They got that quickly to the back, and Sills did a beautiful job blocking the corner and making that an easy conversion for the first down.
4-man rush. Grier was given some time but ran out of time. Throws for Sills, and it's a first down, say the officials. They'll move the chains. They're at the 50-yard line.
A lot of time for West Virginia. All 3 timeouts. I think it's really important that they score a touchdown on this drive, because Oklahoma's going to get the ball to start the 3rd quarter. Remember, West Virginia won the toss and took the football. So I think this drive right here for a touchdown is critical for West Virginia.
There's enough time for West Virginia to score. Oklahoma could score again. Maybe West Virginia would get another chance the way this game has gone. Short run by Kennedy McCoy. Dana Holgerson trying to beat Oklahoma for the first time. They're 0-6 against the Sooners since they came into the Big 12. 7th year in the conference for West Virginia. Sam James, the receiver. They're going deep down the depth chart. On the completion of James, gain of 4. They're at the 44. It's 3rd down and 4 with 1:15 to go in the half. And almost certainly 4 down territory if they don't get it. And there's James, could not make the catch.
Yeah, he started to run before he did the first thing, which was catch the football. Had Wesco out there as a blocker, would have easily probably converted this, but you got to make the catch first.
Catch on the previous play, his first of the season. 4th down and 4. Very important play late in the first half for the Mountaineers. Lots of time for Greer, and the catch made by Gary Jennings, and a first down to the 32-yard line.
Nice job by Will Greer reading the crossing routes, and a nice job by Wesco not running into the man covering Gary Jennings. He avoided him. They already had an offensive pass interference call on David Sills earlier for not avoiding the contact. It was a nice job.
Again, plenty of time for Greer. Again, single coverage. Jennings reached for it and was very well covered by Trey Norwood.
Norwood did a nice job of reading the eyes of Gary Jennings. Watch the end of this play. He's going to read the eyes and then reach back and make a play on the football.
West Virginia takes his first time out of the half. 30 seconds.
It's a really good throw by Will Greer, but a nice job getting a hand on those in 8 when Sam Bradford was the quarterback, with a great offensive line that I thought was the best offense I had seen up to that point. Very similar traits.
Greer backpedaling, and it's up for grabs. A battle for the ball and a catch. Dominic Maiden won the battle with Trey Norwood. They're going deep down the depth chart at wide receiver. That's just his 6th catch of the year.
He's a senior, kind of a dependable guy, getting some more playing time, and makes a huge catch inside the 3-yard line. And now another timeout by Dana Holgorsen.
West Virginia takes his 2nd time out of the half. 30-second timeout. Please set the game clock to 40 seconds. 4-0.
And that's a 50-50 ball. That's the perfect definition of what a 50-50 ball is. You throw it up, and your guy's got a 50% chance, and the defender's got a 50% chance, and Maiden comes down with the football. In a crucial situation, in a drive that West Virginia has to have to stay within firing range of this game. And Maiden makes a huge play.
Well, guys, there was a crucial moment on the West Virginia sideline right before this series started. After the fumble, Will Greer came to the sideline and it was explaining what had happened to his offensive coordinator, Jake Spavital. Spavital said, stop. Interrupted him, said, stop talking, move on. Next play, quit thinking about it, focus on what's next. And he's been able to do that on this drive. An important moment for Jake Spavital to regain the focus of his quarterback.
A little confusion on personnel right there. They didn't have Gary Jennings on the field, had to run him out there late.
The play clock isn't moving. Now it is, so they had plenty of time. Here's 1st and goal, West Virginia.
Single coverage with David Sills right here. He's signaling the route that he wants.
And it was a slant, and it was broken up by Trey Norwood.
They give David Sills down around the goal line the ability to decide what route he wants. He's going to signal to Will Greer that he wants to run the slant in this situation. They get it isolated one-on-one, and it's a nice play by Trey Norwood to knock it away.
Timeout, Oklahoma.
Oklahoma takes his first time out of the half.
Number 81, the true freshman from Richmond Hill, Georgia. McCoy, the running back, on the right hip of Greer. And he's down to the goal line. And they're marking him down short. And the clock running. Robert Barnes in on the stop. They're just short.
Now, Dana wants to call that last timeout. Again, Oklahoma gets the ball to start the third quarter. West Virginia desperately needs to cut this to a one-score game.
Greer goes out in motion. It's a wildcat to McCoy to the end zone and a touchdown.
Play for the touchdown.
Evan Staley, the extra point. More than halfway to it. And still not to halftime. Trey Brown banged down as he reached the 20-yard line.
Anxious to watch that game, and even though Michigan seems to have the better team and is playing better, 13 of the last 14 years Ohio State's beaten them, and 6 in a row, and Jim Harbaugh's never beaten the Buckeyes, so it's going to be a heck of a ball game.
And a bomb on target. David Sills, a West Virginia touchdown. Here's Murray, the worst nightmare for Tony Gibson's defense. Murray gets a nice block downfield and scores. Petaway returns to the end zone. Touchdown, West Virginia. All day to throw, and it's a touchdown. Marquise Brown. Kennedy Brooks off to the races. Will they catch him? Touchdown, Oklahoma. Greer under duress. The ball's out as Caleb Kelly took him down. He scoops it up and scores. 63 points, 738 yards of. As we welcome you back to ESPN College Football Prime Time, presented by Outback Steakhouse. Second half underway with Evan Staley's kickoff, a short one. And a good return. It's the kicker involved in slowing him down, Trey Brown. An excellent return across midfield for Oklahoma. Already leading by a touchdown and efficient as ever on offense in that first half.
Yeah, I mean, if you're West Virginia, you say, wow, we ran 56 plays. They only had 26 plays. Good, right? No, because they averaged 14 yards per play, Oklahoma did. So, again, same thing. Not as many plays, but tremendous efficiency. And they had 3 plays of 50 yards or more. West Virginia coming into the game had not allowed a single play all season of 50 yards.
And Mississippi State was the only other team in the country that could say that they hadn't given up a 50-yard play. And on offense, it's Grant Calcaterra with a 21-yard gain. So you're telling me that all those numbers for Oklahoma's offense that were on that screen behind us were put up in 26 offensive plays?
26 plays.
Of course, there was a defensive touchdown for OU.
You know, both teams forced a turnover in that first half. Oklahoma scored when theirs. West Virginia did not.
Kennedy Brooks breaking tackle, still going. And inside the 15-yard line with a powerful run. It took 2 defensive backs, Choyas Avery and Josh Norwood, to get him down.
And a missed tackle by David Long. And that's, you don't expect to see that from this West Virginia defense. He is the leading tackler, the leader of the defense, and he just flat out missed a tackle there. And Kennedy Brooks able to make it a first down run.
West Virginia's been a much better first half team than a second half team. We saw those second half woes last week in Stillwater when they blew a 17-point lead to the Oklahoma State Cowboys. Brooks again tripped up, or he had a lot of running room. David Long didn't whiff that time.
You know, this Oklahoma running game, since the loss to Texas, they have averaged over 325 yards a game rushing. They're sitting at 210 right now, just starting the second half.
How about those numbers? For the year, they averaged 6.9 yards per rush. That's 2 yards more than any other team in the Big 12. And they stick with the ground. And Brooks ahead for a yard or two long with help from Ezekiel Rhodes.
And keep in mind this, Sean, they lost their star running back, Rodney Anderson, the second game of the year against UCLA. And when Kennedy Brooks came in, he was like the fourth or fifth guy, and he's playing lights out. Trey Sermon still bothered by the ankle, not 100%. But that offensive line has paved the way for whoever is running the football.
Marcellus Sutton, another who was in the rotation, who broke his leg early in the year. West Virginia showing blitz on 3rd down and 8. But they rush 3 and try to cover. To the end zone. And a bad mistake by Murray. An interception on an underthrown ball picked off by Kenny Robinson.
Well, Kenny Robinson has had a tough game. Right there, he's missed a couple plays, but he's going to make a play here. He's staying back as deep as the deepest guy. And because of the pressure, Murray was not able to get all of this on the throw. Bigelow was able to make a hit on him as he was throwing. He wants to throw this to the back of the end zone and let his guy make a play, but Bigelow got there first. And the result was an interception by Kenny Robinson, and his 3rd interception on the season.
It's the turnover Miners hat. He'll sign the Miners helmet.
Capitalize on this turnover.
The things that Oklahoma has not done when you play great offense, they don't turn it over. They had 10 all year entering tonight's game. That was 8th fewest in the country. But they've turned it over twice, and now if West Virginia can drive and score a touchdown, we'll have a tie game. Gary Jennings, the 1st down catch for 9 yards. And Kennedy McCoy got enough for the 1st down, tackled around the legs by Amani Bledsoe.
Bledsoe's played a lot of snaps for this defense. He and Kenneth Mann, the 2 defensive ends, have played virtually every snap this season so far. Not a lot of depth at that position.
They stick with McCoy on the ground, and Bledsoe in on the tackle again. Junior out of Lawrence, Kansas. In his hometown university, he'll have a new football coach. Good luck to Les Miles, and good luck to David Beatty as well. Classy guy, worked very hard to try to build up the Jayhawks football program. They battled hard last week against Oklahoma, and again today gave Texas a scare late. Wide open, Trevon Wesco chopped down. Brendan Radley-Hiles, the tackle in the open field at the 43-yard line, and West Virginia's on the move.
Hard to imagine a guy that big could be that wide open, but nobody picked him up on the little short crossing route. Wesco at 6'4", 275 pounds.
24 catches this season. 22 of them have come in the last 8 games. Greer trying to throw it deep. Jennings is out there. Gary Jennings, a West Virginia touchdown, 57 yards.
Well, Greer took a shot right as he was throwing this from Bledsoe, but he hung in there to the last minute to make this throw, and he got plenty on it for Jennings in the slot. Little stick move, and then ran down the seam, and a beautiful throw by Will Greer. Brendan Radley-Hiles, the strong safety, the true freshman, was beaten on the play, but credit Will Greer for hanging in there under pressure and making that throw.
Well, a big play in this game, that intercept. 50-plus yards tonight for West Virginia. Oklahoma's had 3. Luke Hogan kicks off. He's the backup kickoff man. He's taken over here in the second half for Evan Staley, and they're covering Trey Brown much better that time, led by Brendan Ferns.
Brendan Ferns is one of those linebackers we talked about that was injured in the spring. His knee, he's been released to play. He's not quite ready to play every down on defense, but they knew they could use him on special teams. Nice play right there inside the 20-yard line.
Kyler Murray on first down, gives it to Kennedy Brooks. Looked like they were going to tackle him for a loss. He did well to get back just across the line of scrimmage.
Nice job by Sandwich, kind of running through. He read it quickly. He made the play behind the line of scrimmage for the tackle.
It is 40 degrees with the wind chill. It's in the mid-30s right now here in Morgantown. Under 10 minutes to go, third quarter. The winner to the Big 12 title game next Saturday to take on Texas. CeeDee Lamb, and a nice turn up the field after the catch. And he's across the 40-yard line with a 24-yard gain.
Josh Norwood in coverage, and he gives him the cushion, and then you can't miss this tackle. If you're going to let him make that catch on the sideline, you better go and make a sure tackle on the sideline. Slid right by him, and Lamb added about 10 yards after the catch.
It came in averaging a ridiculous 8.8 yards per play for the season. Here's Murray. Runs out of bounds at the 49-yard line. They asked him what he ran the 40, and he said, I'm not sure. I think it was a 4.3, but it was hand time. Not sure that's accurate. I think what he meant was it might have been better than that.
Well, he looks as fast in a football uniform as anybody I've seen. He can really scoot.
Played possibly his last year of football. Most of you know, a first-round pick in the June Major League Baseball draft this year, the 9th pick overall by the Oakland A's, a $4.7 million signing bonus. Zach Sandwich chops him down again, but Kyler got the first down to the Mountaineers' 45-yard line.
Yeah, this is a designed quarterback run. They're going to pull the tackle and lead on it. Again, that's Bobby Evans. And if not for that shoestring tackle, it would have been a bigger play.
Evans is a high school teammate of Kyler Murray on those terrific teams in Allen, Texas. They went 43-0 with Kyler as the starter. Won 3 straight titles. Dad, a terrific quarterback for A&M. There's Kevin. Coached him up when Kyler was young. Kevin still tutors young quarterbacks. Second and 2. Big hole. Kennedy Brooks powers inside the 30 and inside the 25-yard line. A tackle for Giovanni Stewart after a gain of 14.
Watch the right tackle on this one. Cody Ford just gets 2 blocks, gets to the second level. Again, this offensive line, so impressive all the way through this season in protecting their quarterback, Kyler Murray, and opening up lanes in the running game. About as good as there is in college football.
Ford just looks like a mountain there. Has the high stance on the right end of that line. He can really run. Pass protects for Murray. Runs away from the defense. That's not the first time those words have been spoken this year. And he slides down to the 19-yard line.
You notice the last 2 times he's run the football after he fumbled in the first half. He ran out of bounds, and that time he slid. A little conscious of taking care of the football.
That's the dilemma for the defense. Tony Gibson says, obviously you want to sack him, but you have to be careful in your rush lanes. The fine line between going after him hard, but then running the risk that you give him a running lane to take off through. Second and 4, 7 minutes to go, third quarter, tied at 35. And Murray threw it away in the general direction of Carson Meyer.
Oklahoma tried to fool him on that play. It was going to be a throwback to Meyer, and West Virginia was not fooled. They stayed at home, and they had to throw that ball away.
We've talked a lot about stats tonight. I think this might be my favorite one. You know how many down plays they've had? They never get to third down. They're 3 out of 4 on third down. West Virginia's had 11 third down plays, converted 7. Oklahoma has not punted in this game. They're in field goal range, certainly, on 3rd and 4. C.D. Lamb stacked up a yard short. Well, we've seen Dana Holgorsen, as he said he would, aggressively go for 4th downs, and doesn't look like there's any hesitation from his good friend on the other sideline, Lincoln Riley. These two head coaches work together as assistants at Texas Tech. In fact, Dana Holgorsen invited Lincoln Riley over for Thanksgiving dinner last night, but Coach Riley had too much to do the night before a game. 4th and 1.
Oh, they moved.
Movement on the left end of the line. It's Carson Meyer.
False start. Offense, number 45.
Wow.
5-yard penalty.
And now Lincoln's going to kick it. That is a big penalty. Under center. They have not been under center hardly at all tonight. Going with a longer count. And the tight end, Carson Meyer, jumps offside.
So they marched down on their first possession of this half, Oklahoma. And Kyler Murray threw an interception in the end zone. They marched down again.
And even if Oklahoma makes this, this is still a win for the West Virginia defense.
Seibert, one of the very best in the country, knocks it through from 37 yards. Oklahoma back on top, 38-35. Oklahoma, number 6 in the country, leading 38-35. And a long way to go.
You're not kidding. Both teams nearing 500 yards of total offense.
Well, they just skip it and go to overtime right now. Tied at 62. Seibert's kickoff. And I think injecting himself right back into the very serious part of this Heisman Trophy situation.
Yeah.
Martell Pettaway ran for about 8 on first down. Todd McShay, among the draft eligible quarterbacks, now has him ranked 2nd behind Justin Herbert, the fine quarterback at Oregon. He has Herbert as a mid-first round grade, Will Grier early 2nd round, but Will's moved up a lot of spots, past a lot of quarterbacks in Todd's rankings this year, past guys like Ryan Finley and Jarrett Stidham. Gary Jennings, enough for a first down, and then some out to the 41-yard line.
You know, for me as a Heisman voter, one of my biggest criteria, and everybody has their own criteria. For me, how do guys play in the biggest games? That is one of the most important factors for me.
He's playing very well in this big game, trying to get to Sills on a deep ball again, and Trey Norwood was running stride for stride.
I think Trey Norwood's had a good game. You know, we knew these corners have been picked on a lot this year. Trey Norwood and Trey Brown, 2 sophomores that both are talented guys. They're not as big, but I think Norwood has really played pretty well tonight.
They come after Grier on 2nd and 10. Another treat throw. And more good coverage by Trey Brown on T.J. Simmons.
They tried to take off on one side, then they come back and go after Brown. And the ball's a little underthrown. It hit Trey Brown in the back of the head.
And again,
he was in good position, but the ball was a little bit underthrown by Grier.
And you wonder if that receiver would have been Marcus Sims with a bit more speed.
Yeah.
Had he not left for concussion evaluation in the first half. So 3rd down and 10. Very few 3rd and longs on either side tonight. They've been moving the ball on virtually every down. And they'll move the chains. It's Dominique Maiden, 5 catches all season. 2 big ones tonight to give him 7 in his final home game. He's from Temecula, California.
Oklahoma rushed 3 and dropped 8, and they were still able to find the nice soft spot there for the first down throw.
Pettaway. Stopped immediately by Curtis Bolton, the fifth-year senior, who's had a tremendous final season for Oklahoma, averaging 10 tackles per game, third in the Big 12 and 23rd in the nation. He was essentially a special teams player prior to this year.
Been playing banged up all year. He's one of their best blitzers. That was a run blitz, and I think Oklahoma's done a better job of that on the early downs against this West Virginia run game.
They do some twisting up front. Still don't get near Greer, who fires one through the hands of Martell Pettaway. There is a flag down.
I think they might get Yodny Kajust again with a hands to the face on this one. Got called for a holding earlier in the ball game. Was blocking on Neville Gallimore.
Mike DeFee looking to the Oklahoma sideline to see if Lincoln Riley wants to accept the penalty.
Personal foul. Hands to the face. Offense number 55. It's a 15-yard penalty. Replay second down.
Here he is right here. It's going to be a stunt, and Gallimore is going to come to the outside, and that's who Kajust is going to end up blocking. And he got his hand right there in the face. He actually grabbed the face mask.
Well, 2nd and 25. Quick pop to T.J. Simmons, and he's tripped up by Brendan Radley Hiles, true freshman out of Inglewood, California, a top prospect offered by Clemson, Florida State, the two LA schools, UCLA and USC, among many others. Third down and 18. They're creeping up as if they're going to rush 5. Greer might be changing the play. Defenders look to the sideline. They rushed 4. And Jennings is open. Wow. Jennings fighting toward the goal line and ripped down just shy by Delarian Turner-Yell.
They're running Caleb Kelly, number 19, under him, but he just can't keep up with him. The safety's over the top, the underneath coverage by the linebacker Kelly, but he can't stay up with Gary Jennings, and another beautiful read and throw by Will Greer.
What a senior night.
Got Sills isolated down here at the bottom.
They're probably hand signaling Greer if there's any chance of a pass. They're going to try to power it in with Pettaway. West Virginia trying to reclaim the lead. Dana Holgerson's squad led a couple of times in the first half, 7-0, 14-7.
Little confusion personnel wise for West Virginia. Letty Brown now in, Pettaway out. At first it looked like both backs were going to be in the game.
Well, plenty of time on the play clock, 10 seconds. Under 2.5 to go, third quarter. Letty Brown lowered his head, and he did not get in. And there's an injured West Virginia offensive lineman. It's Yodny Kajust, another fifth-year senior. I mentioned 17 seniors, 10 of them are fifth-year players. Third down and goal from inside the 1. 2:10 to go. Oklahoma by 3.
Got Chase Burnt, number 76, is playing left tackle right now.
He's been almost exclusively a guard this year. Greer. Touchdown. Looked like he might have bobbled the snap momentarily from our vantage point. And he held on and got in. And West Virginia goes back on top with 1:52 to go in the third.
Well, watch West go. Instead of being a lead blocker, he's a lead pusher on this play. He's going to get right in the hip of Will Greer and drive him into the end zone. 275-pound pusher gets him into the end zone for the touchdown.
Greer's third rushing touchdown of the season. Here's Evan Staley, who's never missed an extra point in his career. Ooh. Sean McDonough, Todd Blackledge, Holly Rowe in Morgantown, West Virginia, where the Mountaineers have battled back to take a 4-point lead. 1:52 to go in the third quarter. The winner of this game will play in the Big 12 Conference Championship game in Arlington, Texas, a week from tomorrow against the Texas Longhorns. Luke Hogan kicks off, and Trey Brown calls for a fair catch. $9 million. They are Instagram stars. I didn't know that was a thing. I did know recently that was a thing.
It's a thing.
They put up videos on YouTube, and they have a lot of people who really think they're big deals, and they are big deals. And they're you got a little fancy with us on Thanksgiving weekend with the gadgets and gizmos. 2nd and 10. Trey Sermon, and it's a fired up Mountaineer defense, dropping him for a loss. And if they credit David Long with a tackle for a loss, and I think they will, he has set the single season Mountaineer record with 19.5. Johnny Dingle had the mark in 2007 with 19 tackles for a loss. Third down, just a little bit more than 10. Crowd fully engaged, and the Mountaineers want a timeout. You can see a lot of jumping up and down on their sideline. They didn't like the defensive alignment. They know this is a critical play. Third down and 10, Oklahoma.
No
a minute 9 to go in the third.
Empty backfield. That's why they called timeout, to make sure they had the right alignment defensively.
They come after Kyler Murray. He lofts one deep and into the arms of Marquise Brown.
What a throw. What a beautiful touch throw by Kyler Murray. West Virginia brings pressure. It's picked up, and just a little drop in the bucket throw. Murray to Brown.
For a 30-yard gain. 9 catches, 187 yards receiving, and a touchdown for Brown. Murray checks it down. Brown not tired. Down the sideline and still going. Breaks a tackle and scores. And Oklahoma reclaims the lead.
Credit Kyler Murray and Marquise Brown for making the connection, but this is some shoddy tackling by West Virginia. This should have been about a 7-yard gain. There's one missed tackle by Avery. Then here's another tackle by Kenny Robinson. And a touchdown for Marquise Brown.
Having a mammoth night.
Oh my goodness.
232 on 10 catches. 10 catches, a single game career high for Marquise Brown. He's not yet to his receiving yardage single game high, which is 265 last season against Oklahoma State.
Shows a little strength to go with that speed and agility, shaking off the arm tackles. And I guess he is 100%.
Each team has exactly 542 yards of offense right now. 10 targets, 10 catches. 10 catches, as we said, a career high. Not yet to his yardage high. So 1,084 yards of offense.
And a quarter to play.
Plus 35 seconds. And more of the same. Lincoln Riley's teams run 44 plays from scrimmage. West Virginia 72. Austin Seibert. And Bush had trouble.
place.
Quick pop for Trevon Wesco and broken up by Caleb Kelly.
So Josh Sills, who is normally the left guard, is now playing right tackle, I believe.
Well, you are correct.
And Chase Burns playing left guard.
Greer going deep, and again tight coverage. David Sills had Parnell Motley with him step for step.
Now 2 quick incompletions, and now a 3rd and 10 for Will Greer. Again, this is the kind of game where your defense, you just occasionally want to get a stop or force a turnover, and this could be a huge play right here for the Oklahoma defense. But 3rd and long has not been the answer for Oklahoma. West Virginia 10 of 14 converting on this down.
And a man running free. It's Jennings again. It looks like an instant replay. Another long touchdown for Gary Jennings. 5 receiving yards. Previous best was 189 against Virginia Tech last year. Will Greer. 3 catches of 50 yards plus in the quarter for Gary Jennings. Trey Brown. Then feast or famine for him in kickoff returns here in the 3rd quarter. Josh Chandler leading the coverage.
Yeah. Well, they started out by starting a true freshman quarterback and replacing Sam Darnold, and it just has been an uphill climb the whole way.
Kyler Murray, after the play fake, hits Carson Meyer in stride. He surged out to the 45-yard line on what will be the final play of the 3rd quarter.
That's the end of the 3rd quarter.
The play fake was to the wrong side. Either the back went the wrong way or Kyler went the wrong way. It didn't matter. They still had a big completion.
On to the 4th we go with a spot in the Big 12 championship game on the line. On to the 4th quarter in Morgantown. You're watching ESPN College Football presented by Outback Steakhouse. It's Dr. Pepper's Championship Drive Game of the Week. The winner drives on to Arlington, Texas for the Big 12 title game a week from tomorrow to take on Texas. Oklahoma trying to stay in the chase for the college football playoff as well. Down by 4 as the 4th quarter begins. Kennedy Brooks breaks tackles and weaves down to the West Virginia 34. Tackled by Kenny Robinson. What a run, 16 yards.
It's the counter trap, and this should have been about a 3-yard gain. And he just ran right through Hakeem Bailey, the corner. He was there. He had him squared up. He tried to wrap him up, and Kennedy Brooks would have none out of it.
Kyler Murray, after the play fake, had to pull it down, then fired a bullet for another 1st down. Marquise Brown. His 11th catch of the night. Josh Norwood, the tackle for West Virginia. He has 11 for 242 and 2 touchdowns. Jennings, tough when you have 7 catches for 225 and 2 touchdowns, and you're just the 2nd best receiver of the night, but that's the case for Gary Jennings. Brooks, the running back. Murray gave it to him, and he gets slammed down for a loss. Dante Stills, a true freshman, whose dad Gary was a fine player here at West Virginia with help from Ezekiel Rose.
Yeah, really quick, fast inside move. He got inside the block of Carson Meyer and got the negative yardage play.
Oklahoma back over the ball quickly. Lots of time for Murray. Far sideline, 1st down. Carson Meyer to the 5-yard line. 21 more for the Sooners.
Oklahoma had 3 wide receivers into the boundary. They overloaded the short side of the field, and West Virginia just did not have enough coverage there. And Murray was able to find Meyer. Look at that. Absolutely dead even for about another 8 seconds.
Murray communicates the play. Hands it off. Kennedy Brooks twisting down to the 2 in the arms of number 2, Kenny Robinson. Second and goal as the Sooners try to reclaim the lead. West Virginia crowds the middle, so Murray tries to go outside and could not get outside. Drayvon Askew Henry the stop.
Nice job by Askew Henry that time, maintaining outside leverage and wrapping up the very elusive Kyler Murray.
Third down and goal. You'd have to think this is likely 4-down territory for Oklahoma if they don't make it on this play. West Virginia crowds the left side of the Oklahoma line with that the strong side of the formation. And Brooks did not go anywhere. Giovanni Stewart led the defensive surge for the Mountaineers, and now it's 4th and goal.
Well, first of all, watch David Long give the inside pressure. That's going to force the back outside a little bit, right into the arms of Giovanni Stewart.
Fourth and goal. They lost a little yardage there. They're back on the 2.
I think you got to put Kyler Murray on the perimeter with something here.
He goes straight back. He fires wide open. Touchdown, Grant Calcaterra.
He's right here. He's a viable receiver in this part of the field, always for Oklahoma, and nobody covers him for West Virginia. That's an easy throw for Kyler Murray, a great read and an excellent call by Lincoln Riley on 4th down. West Virginia thinking run all the way. Kyler Murray threw it for a touchdown.
And Austin Seibert adds the extra point. And we wonder if the game would go over 100 points. It's 52-49. It's still 11:19 to go. College football prime time. Four ties, 5 lead changes in this game tonight. It's Oklahoma back on top. Kyler Murray, a 2-yard touchdown pass to Calcaterra. His 4th touchdown of the season. Tevin Bush back for the kickoff from Seibert, who is a touchback machine. Here's tonight's
huge night tonight, along with Marquise Brown of Oklahoma.
On 3rd down, Kennedy McCoy skips through the holes and takes off. They have the angle on him, but will they catch him? Barely. Out of bounds inside the 5 line. Shoved out by Curtis Bolton at the 3.
Beautiful cut back to the inside by Kennedy McCoy. Watch him start this way and cut back inside. And then downfield, a tremendous block by T.J. Simmons, number 1. Watch Simmons with the block on the sideline. That enables McCoy to keep taking it all the way down inside the 5-yard line.
There's a flag down.
What? I wonder if they called Simmons for...
During the run, number 1 was blocking a defender completely out of bounds, which is a personal foul. It's a 15-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. 1st down.
Wow, I was just commenting on what a great block it was to seal the sideline for Kennedy McCoy. It's good, it's good, it's good. I guess at this point he's just got to let go.
Well, he does continue to drive him over by the bench.
Which there is no need for that. And that
Sideline when Simmons after the play threw somebody down out of bounds. I don't know if it was Trey Brown in that instance too. I don't know that I've ever seen Ferguson's irate. Bill Lamagna here in the booth telling us it's a good call. But I tell you what, in a game like this,
you can't give away plays like that.
No, you can't.
You can't. I mean, it's a touchdown game. It's a back and forth game. You're down inside the 5-yard line with a chance to hopefully retake the lead. And now you're 2nd and 10 on your side of the team.
These two teams through 3 quarters, 1,151 combined yards, most in any game in the country this year. Deep ball for Sills. They want a flag.
There is one.
And they get one. Parnell Motley doesn't like it.
I didn't think that. I kind of agree with Lincoln Riley. I didn't think that David Sills was going to have a chance to get to this football.
Pass interference. Defense number 11. Armbarring the receiver, preventing him from getting to the football. It's a 15-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
I think that's Mike DeFee's way of explaining why the ball wasn't catchable. The armbar prevented him from getting to the ball.
Now, I'm telling you, we did a game last week, and we saw that just about every pass play, and nothing was called.
Yeah, they've called it much more tightly. It's a different officiating crew here tonight, obviously. And when we saw in Stillwater, Greer, ball's up in the air, and now loose on the ground, and Oklahoma has it. Curtiston taking off end zone. 2nd defensive score of the night for Oklahoma. What a turn of events. A long run that got them into the 5. Called back for a block out of bounds. And then Oklahoma.
Well, this is a play that Will Greer has got to just realize that the defense won. Go down. He's going to try to throw it away. He's being ripped down to the ground by Kenneth Mann. Ronnie Perkins also there, and then Bolton comes up with it.
A 48-yard return. And with 9:58 to go, the crowd stunned.
You add on to the penalty by Simmons, and what could have been a go-ahead touchdown, now you find yourself potentially 10 points down, 2 scores in the 4th quarter.
You know, ordinarily I would say, Todd, in a game like this, something like that, let it go, but it was so egregious. I mean, he blocked him all the way over to the bench.
Yep.
That you're daring the officials to call it. Look how far they go. I mean, he's still blocking him. Instead of being in position to reclaim the lead, now it's Oklahoma with a 2-score lead and under 10 minutes to go.
494 yards, a career high. He's had 2 costly fumbles that were both recovered and returned for touchdowns.
Another touchback off the foot of Austin Seibert. But as Todd said, the 2 big fumbles. Each team has turned it over twice. Draw to Kennedy McCoy. And the crowd now restless and groaning a little bit of that play call. Tough to get on the offensive coaches when your team has 639 yards of offense and 49 points, but they didn't like that one. Winner to Arlington next Saturday, noon Eastern time start. Take on the Texas Longhorns. Long throw for Jennings. Nearly came up with another one despite double coverage. Parnell Motley, Delarian Turner Yell combined on Jennings.
2 guys there for Oklahoma. The ball is still thrown perfectly by Will Greer, and Jennings just not able to come up with it. And credit Motley for fighting all the way to the end of that play. Got his hand in there, fought the ball out.
3rd down and 10. West Virginia 11 for 13, for 5th rather, on 3rd downs. Some twisting again up front for Oklahoma, and the pass. TJ Simmons can't hang on. He's had a tough night. That blockingly out of bounds was a huge call, and again, he wouldn't have been as much of a factor in this game had Marcus Sims not gone out with an apparent concussion.
And the guy that he was blocking out of bounds was Trey Brown, who just made the play there. Ripped the ball away and forces a West Virginia punt. A quick 3 and out for the Mountaineers.
Just the 2nd of the night for West Virginia. I do not believe Oklahoma has gone 3 and out tonight. They have not, says our statistician Brian Taylor, who's running out of ink in those pens with this one. Billy Kinney's punt out of bounds at the 41. 10-point lead, the ball with 9:04 to go for Murray and Oklahoma. There are the drive charts for this game. Really, Oklahoma's only stopped itself. Tyler Murray lost the fumble. The half ended. Murray threw an interception in the end zone, but the turnovers for West Virginia, Todd, much more costly.
Yeah, I mean, both with 2, but those 2 fumbles by Will Grier, both recovered and returned for touchdowns. Obviously the difference in the ball game.
Oklahoma averaging 11.7 yards per play. They'll improve on that average as Kennedy Brooks gets chopped down across midfield. And for the season, Todd, before that play, for the season, they're now averaging exactly 9 yards per play. That's never been done in the history of college football.
No, 8.6 was the best ever by Hawaii. And yeah, they are on pace to shatter that.
They have 636 yards of offense now after that 14-yard run. They've actually been outgained by West Virginia by 3 yards. 8.5 to go. Kennedy Brooks. You wonder if the heart's going to the Mountaineers a little bit here, Holly.
Well, I would like to really give a lot of credit to the Oklahoma offensive line. They are one of the finalists for the Joe Moore Offensive Line of the Year award. And the reason they're averaging so yards per play, I think, is this offensive line. There are gaping holes. I don't know if you can see them from the booth, but from the field level, gaping holes that are being opened up by these guys. Just so physical, so tough, really downhill blocking. It's been beautiful to watch.
You can update that graphic. The 8.8 was entering tonight. They're at 9.0 now for the year with their performance tonight. And you're right, Holly. This is the best offensive line we've seen this season. Kyler Murray slides down. Made sure the ball didn't come out with Giovanni Stewart in pursuit. Big play here. West Virginia desperate need of getting the ball back. 7.5 minutes to go. West Virginia was not set at the snap. Murray throws low, and Calcaterra could not make the catch.
Well, the good news for West Virginia is not only do they get the stop and the incomplete pass, but it stops the clock as well. Haven't seen Kyler Murray miss on too many throws. Had the interception when he underthrew one under duress. It's probably the worst throw he's had tonight right here to Calcaterra. Low and too difficult to pull in.
First for Oklahoma, if in fact Seibert kicks it. David Sills back for the punt. He's returned only 2 this season.
Delay a game. Kicking team. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
I would say regardless of the outcome, both these quarterbacks gave the Heisman voters something to think about tonight.
Yeah, they did.
Individual performances.
The front runner Tua Tagovailoa will play in the Iron Bowl tomorrow against Auburn.
It's a good Auburn defense. They've had a bit of a disappointing season, but it's largely because of the struggles of the Auburn offense. Week 12 Monday Night Football. It's a big matchup in the AFC South. How about Bill O'Brien's Texans? They've won 7 in a row, with the Titans in 2nd place in the division, and that's at 8:15 Eastern on ESPN. ESPN Deportes available on the ESPN app. After last Monday night's game, the Rams and Chiefs, this game tonight, those games will let us down if they don't get it up to about 100 points.
That's a lot of pressure.
Fine. There's Kennedy McCoy on first down, losing a yard.
Again, one of the biggest difference I've seen in Oklahoma's defense. And again, this offensive line has had to be reshuffled for West Virginia, but Oklahoma's run defense on first down much better here in the second half. They've stunted, they've blitzed some, they've done a much better job of negating that running game on first down.
And you'd have to think the loss of Yodny Kajust to tackle has really hurt West Virginia. Greer swings it out wide. McCoy can't get away. Curtis Bolton the tackle. And Todd, before we get too far away from the Monday Night Football promo, our condolences to the Texans organization, to the family of their owner Bob McNair, who passed away today at the age of 81. They've been battling cancer. 1999 awarded the 32nd NFL franchise. Time running out on West Virginia. 6 minutes to go. Down by 10. Greer launches one, and Simmons couldn't make the catch. This is turning into a night he would like to forget.
He had a shot on this one. Will Greer gives him an opportunity. He's working on the short side of the field against Trey Brown. Not able to corral it. Thrown to the outside away from the defender, and Simmons not able to make the catch.
In a classic like this, so many plays, but they'll talk here in Morgantown for a long time about that block out of bounds.
Yeah.
That wiped out long run, position West Virginia to perhaps reclaim the lead. Moments later, a defensive touchdown for Oklahoma is completely throwing it up for grabs, and they get the flag. Giovanni Haskins trying to turn back to the ball.
Yeah, Robert Barnes was in coverage, and he had no idea where the football was and was grabbing him the whole way. Haskins didn't even really make a huge effort to go get the ball, but got the interference call anyway.
Pass interference. Defense number 20. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. Automatic. First down.
Yep. Might be the play that keeps the Big 12 title hopes alive for West Virginia. If that complete pass, it's just about ball game over.
Yeah. Now it's clearly a grab and a pass interference. And new life for Will Greer.
Still haven't gotten this crowd back into it yet. A score would do that. He's launching deep, throws it up for grabs, and it should have been intercepted by Delarian Turner-Yell.
Well, he was trying to go to the well one more time, and that's Gary Jennings on the deep post between the safeties. And this time Oklahoma has it covered. The safety, Turner-Yell, is in position to not only make the play but end the threat with the interception. Couldn't make the catch. That's what Ruffin McNeil talked about into the next play.
Yes, forget it. Drive on. Sills close to another first down. Looks like they might mark him just a little bit shy of the 47. And Greer trying to pick up the pace with the clock running under 5.5 minutes to go. Maiden. The 44-yard line of Oklahoma. Greer's thrown for 515 yards. Long way from the single game passing yardage mark for West Virginia. It's over 600 yards by Geno Smith. Hello, he's taking a run at it. Sills another catch. Still plenty of time left. More than 5 minutes to go. A 24-yard gain at the very least. They're in field goal range to make it a one-score game. McCoy yanked down. Geno Smith's record, if you're curious, is 656 in 2012 against Baylor. This is the second most passing yards, however, ever in a game by a West Virginia quarterback. 539 for Will Grier. What a finale in Pushkar Stadium for him. And here's Petaway, and it's a game again. 17-yard touchdown run. West Virginia 704 yards of offense, and it's a one-score game.
Watch Sills playing guard or tackle instead of guard, and then Wesco with the lead block right here. Excellent job at the point of attack, and West Virginia back in it.
Big extra point for Staley. They're lining up Oklahoma as if they're expecting an onside kick.
No, I'd kick this.
Yeah, this is way too soon for this, isn't it? 4:20?
Yes, and you got two timeouts. And don't give Oklahoma a short field. I mean, kick the ball. They don't have anybody back deep. So even if you pooch it.
Pooch it over their heads and try to go get them. They're onside kicking. I don't understand that at all. And that's why it's a free ball. Oklahoma saying they had it. It looked from here like they did. Grant Calcaterra, the latest to come away from the pile. Sooners seem convinced they have it, and they do. Nick Basquin, the bottom of the pile. Back up wide receiver with a big play because that ball was loose. There was a lot of contact.
That 5-yard penalty be enforced from where the ball was recovered, first down.
Yeah, Marquise Brown, I think, was he the first guy trying to catch it, and he doesn't field it cleanly.
The first thing he didn't
so
catch
the ball,
tonight. I still don't like the call, even though it almost
I don't
worked
either.
out.
No, I don't either. And we've seen this a couple times this season, and if you have timeouts, hope your defense can get a stop with a little bit of field at your advantage.
You can only say we're better on defense. I trusted you. It's hard to trust your defense to give up 59 points and made them punt once. But at a certain point, you got to hope they can make a play. There's Kennedy Brooks.
And, you know, it should be brought up and reminded, you know, as we sit here at 59-56, that there was a point early in the second quarter when West Virginia had the ball in the red zone. It was a 4th and 6 play at the 10-yard line, and the score was 14-14. Dana Holgorsen opted not to kick a field goal, to go for it. Will Grier incomplete in the end zone, and you know they stayed right in the game. But it said
they were going to. This is a touchdown game.
Yeah.
He said to Holly at the half when she asked him about that, this is a touchdown game, not a field goal game. And I'd be inclined to give him the benefit of the doubt on that one. Here's an option look. Kennedy Brooks done such a nice job breaking tackles and making men miss. And here's a critical 3rd down at about a yard from the 37-yard line.
It looks like they backed it up a little bit more than that, so a little bit more than a yard.
Yep, almost 2.
Yep.
They need the 35. The ball actually almost 3. Just inside the 38, so they really did move it back a little bit.
How about David Long? Time for him to maybe make a play for West Virginia. Made a bunch in the rear.
183 yards rushing for Kennedy Brooks on 19 carries. Option the other way. Brooks tripped up. Trayvon Askew-Henry, his 50th career start, makes the tackle. Dana Holgorsen looking up at the clock, wondering if he should call a timeout. 2:34 to go, and they do stop the clock.
What a play, Askew, right here. He's got to have the contain. Murray pitches it quickly.
West Virginia takes their 2nd time out of the half. Please set the game clock to 2:36. 2:36.
Well, no one has started more games at West Virginia than Drayvon Askew Henry, fifth-year senior out of Aliquippa, PA, in the Pittsburgh area. Produced so many great players. Mike Ditka, Tony Dorsett, Darrell Rivas, Ty Law. It's a long list. And that was a big-time play. Would you anticipate a punt here? Or do you go for it?
You know, the smart money would say punt it and try to pin, you know, Seibert, pin him down, but it doesn't look that way. It looks like Lincoln Riley's going to put the ball in the hands of his quarterback.
But you can't blame the coaches for not wanting to lean on the defense the way the offenses have dominated tonight. No. Dana Holgorsen didn't. I think now he wishes maybe he had kicked that ball deep. You can't know that the same things would have happened.
Right. My whole point is if you have to have your defense make a stop. Have them make a stop down in that part of the field.
Agree.
So you force the punt. You don't even give them this option of going for it down.
4th down and 5. If they convert, it's a huge step toward Arlington and the Big 12 title game against Texas. Only a 3-man rush. They're trying to defend the yard to make. Murray scrambling around, pointing everywhere, fires, low throw, it is caught. CeeDee Lamb, what a play. They rushed 3. Murray had all day. Orchestrated several of his teammates in different directions and then completed one to Lamb.
Now Lamb was actually starting on a route to the other side of the field, saw his quarterback moving, buying time, and worked back to the sideline for the completion. Well, that's the danger of rushing 3 and dropping 8. You cover everybody, but you can't cover for that long of a period of time.
Well, it's very hard to get him down, even pressure him as we saw with 3 men. The way he can move around and elude 3 of them. He had all day to throw. And Dana Holgorsen uses his last timeout with 1:59 remaining.
1 minute timeout.
Second and 9, 31-yard line. Give Lincoln Riley credit. Went for it on 4th down. Here's Murray. Murray slides down alertly, got the first down and stay bounds. And that should just about do it. And that gets Kyle. He said when we chatted during the week, I think I deserve to win the Heisman Trophy. I think he'll be even more of that opinion after this one.
Well, I certainly think he deserves to be strongly considered. I mean, the idea or the fact that anybody could think it's a foregone conclusion that Tua Tagovailoa should be the winner. I think these games down the stretch matter. This was a huge performance tonight against a ranked West Virginia team in their house, and he'll have another opportunity to avenge the only loss against Texas.
That's the PlayStation Player Index. Dad Kevin, Mom Missy, proud of this performance and of the season their son has had. So it'll be the latest renewal of the Red River rivalry. What a classic game they played in the regular season. Texas led by 21. Murray led them back to tie. And then Texas on a field goal in the final minute by their freshman field goal kicker won the game. The only loss of the season for Oklahoma. They'll have a chance to avenge that. Longtime friends Holgorsen and Riley. They'll embrace it. The middle of the field. Dana Holgorsen said it's not all about this game tonight. The future is bright, but senior quarterback, a lot of seniors in key positions, a home game. I kind of feel like this is a huge lost opportunity for West Virginia to take a big step forward with its program. Here's Holly.
Well, Kyler, as he continues to get some congratulations here. It's 4th down and 5 with just over 2 minutes to play in this game. You drop back, and it took you a long time. What did you see that allowed you to extend this game and this win?
Just knowing the situation, knowing, if we get the first down, game's over. And for me, being the guy, being the quarterback, just got to make a play for the team, for the guys in the game, and that's what we did.
On a night that the offense had one of the most epic performances in history, it was your defense with 2 takeaways and scoring touchdowns. How do you shout out your defense for that performance?
They came up big tonight. I mean, I kind of put us in a hole coming out second half. We could have created separation right there, but with the turnover, they really had our back. And at the end of the day, we got the job done, and we're going to Big 12 championship. So, the job's not finished.
It is the 2nd straight year you're going to the Big 12 championship. What did you put on your team, the stamp that you put on this team to get them there this year?
It's just not being satisfied. Just going to work every day, trying to be the best, being obsessed with being better every day, coming into work every day and just getting better, and that's all you can ask for.
You have a chance at redemption. Your only loss against Texas. What has to be different this time?
I don't have a comment on that. We'll have a good week of practice, and we'll see them Saturday.
Thank you, Kyler. See you Saturday.
Sure.